Hello everyone, this is Professor Kent. Today's recording is to record chapter 8, Helena's Academy. Again, I am using Sage 50 version 2023. The session date is October 15 and I already advanced my date to October 15, 2025. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to do the first transaction. The date on the transaction is October 1st. And what we're doing is we're trying to do a cash sale. So if you're doing a sale, go to the receivable, and then of course under the statement you're going to have the you can change it to not accounting terms. So where we are doing is we sold it to parent and a student. So let's go to parent and students, and that's the thing. The date is October 1st. Change the date October 1st. And what did we sell them? We sold them two. One is the monthly fees for the program, and one is for the lessons. So the monthly fees is 3,200. I'm just going to go here and look for a revenue account for the programs, and the programs they said is 3,200, and for the lessons I'm gonna go to find a revenue for the lessons, and the lessons was 2,130. And again, you can write the description. One is for the programs and the other one is for the lessons. So, and then we are going to go to display a transaction. When you do it, that is going 5330, and then the credit is your 1440 and 1460. So this is the right transaction, and we will save the transaction. So it is I'll save the transaction. Now we're good to go to the next one. The next one is we have a cash purchase from Global Liability. We have to do a full ad for a new supplier, but I'm not going to do a full ad. Full ad means you have to add the address and everything. You can go ahead and change the address. I'm just going to show you how to do an invoice. So we're going to go to the invoice, and instead of pay later, we are giving them a check, and this is the check number is 211. So we are paid by check, so its check number is 211, and then what we're paying for the invoice, that's what you're going to copy and paste. When are we doing it? We're doing it on January 2nd, and it is global. It's not there. I'm gonna add it. So it was the Global Liability Inc. So that's what it is, for a Global Liability Inc. And you can put it in your own address. Normally what we do is we ask the students to enter their own address, and that's what you have to do under the options. If there's no we wanted to know what they want us to charge it to. They want us to charge it to 508, and the net term is pay within 1 day. Instead of pay later, we pay with a net is 1. So you could charge it to 508 account. So let's go to 508 account. We could save and close. So when you are here, net days are 1 day, and it's due today. 1 day. Check number is 211, and the amount they told us was 1,800. That's what the amount is. So when you do that, it is a monthly insurance. You can just say monthly insurance. We are going to go to display a report. When you display a report, it should look like exactly the way it is. Now you could do an additional thing, but we have done what we needed to do. Change the date, everything is good. So we have done the second transaction. My third transaction is the date is October 5th, and I'm gonna I don't know what we're doing here. We're making a payment, so I will go into my payment. Who are we making a payment to? looms at supplier, and we're making a payment on October 5th. I will change the date, and if it's that, you just go from the left to the right. So your transaction should look like this. So we owe them 1880, and this is the amount that we owe. We are done with that, and I will save my transaction, and we will say okay. Now going further, what we needed to do is we needed to make a, sorry, the other way. We are going to do a payroll. In this case, these are the amount that are given to us. So let's go to the payroll. You are going to do you go to employees and payroll. We are going to do a payroll run, because you can pay, and we're paying 1, 2, 3, 4 people. So we're paying from pay period is October to the 15th. That is right. So you're paying not this person, you're paying just the people that are on hourly rate. So that's where you're paying. So the first one is, it says that Filler Morty, and you're paying them 80, pay this person 80, and the overtime is 4. And what also doing is we are also, by the look of it, we are paying for the tuition. When you're doing the tuition, it's 145, and we're doing an advance, which is your 200. Then you're going to go to your next one. You're going to accept this. My next one is Hardy Jerome. The overtime is 2 here. We are going to go to this one, and they said the lesson is 24. So this should be all your payroll, and let's see if we did it right. So you're going to do, your first one will be your 200. As long your wages are right, everything automatically comes up. The amount is correct, seems like it. If you go to Jerome, that should be the invoice, should be Jerome, and then you're going to go your Nella, and then we have the next one is the Tisty Art. I'm just trying to, I printed out, but Morty. So we are good with this transactions the way they are. So we are going to process the transaction, and I will close this, and we needed to process the transaction. When you do that, it's going to create the first 4 transactions, not first 4, the 4 transactions. So we will post it. This is the part, this is the every year we have a new date, new tables, and I will say yes, only CPP amount changes every year. So we will close this. Now we're going to go to my memo. Something happened. When did it happen? On they want us to change the session date to October 31st. So let's go here, change my session date to October 31st, and we will say okay. Of course, it's more than the period. We'll say yes. I don't want to back up. And what happened is that there's a mistake. The hours should have been 6 hours overtime, but we paid them for 4 hours. So now what you're going to do is you're going to be reverse and adjust one of the check, which is Marty filler. So let's go to, there's a different way of doing it. I could do a payroll check. I could do it this way. I can show you adjust the paycheck. That's what we're going to do. We're going to say okay, and we are adjusting this check, and I will select, it will automatically come. When you do that, we should be paying for the 6 hours instead of the 4 hours. So when you do that 6, and if I were to do that, you will have to see the display, the journal. Your display journal should be the amount should be there seems to be so they said, what did they say? They said he worked 6 hour pay overtime during the week but was paid for 4. He also taken 1 day sick day leave, but that was not recorded. So what happens is that he got 1 day sick day but he got 6. So I am going to, if you, I think they work 7.5 hours. So when we're doing the October 17, there's a different way you could do that. One, I let's see, it says that adjust the check and reissue a check. So when I was trying to read it as we go, so I was trying to reverse it, but at reverse and adjust at the same time, but they saying adjust his paycheck and reissue a new check to make the correction. So that's what we're going to do. When you reverse it, you are going to go the same way I was trying to say. You are going to go here and you're going to find your reverse. What you're going to do is reverse your journal entry 4, which was 213. And how do we reverse it? We have to put the money back in the bank account, which will be your 2271. And when that happens, and if you were to do that, if you look at it here, if you kind of if you hover, you have to kind of, I'm going to close this. If you hover over here, this is to reverse it. When you're reversing it, what you're going to do is you're going to do the opposite. So when I reverse it, are you sure you want to reverse it? I will say yes. Now we are doing the reversal. We will say okay, so this is a reversal happen. If I wanted to know if the reversal was done right, I will go back to my reports. I will go my journal entry. I will say journal, sorry, not a payment. I'm going to go report, journal entries. We are going to say all. And if you look at it now, you should have a reversal. This is my first transaction. That's my journal 4 was reversed. Now, if it doesn't show up, you have to modify your options. You have to show the correction to see if this was right. So what we did is we just did the reversal, and this is my reversal 105. This is exactly the same way. Now we are going to issue a new check. When you do it, you issue a new check. And when you're issuing a new check to, we are issuing a check to, I think, Marty Filler, and we start date was October 1st. Sorry, previous start date, check date is your 15. End date is also 15. That's what we're going to do. So what they said was, in this case, they said we have to go back and read what the question was asking us to do. So we are adjusting filler Morty. That's what we're trying to do. So then we have to reissue the same check that we issued before, and the date is 0105, and we paid him for we originally paid him for 4 hours overtime. Now we're gonna pay him for 6 hours. So let's go back to this. I was doing that. Then we go to the tuition. My tuition was 145. Advance was 200. Sorry, 200. Sorry, somebody walked in my office and then I lost my thoughts. So I have to display this transaction to see if the amount is right. The amount should be seems right to me. 59. I think it looks good to me. So let's go ahead and process this transaction. The just check for your net pay should be 2329, and this is the date, so I will post it. They said the check also contains amount other than advances. I know it's a yes. They said this is the formula. We say yes, we are good. Check number is out of sequence. We know that we reverse, and we instead we just, the check number you enter is out of sequence. Would you like to use this next would you like to use the next available check? I will say no, because they told us to use the same check. I will say no, and I will say okay. So now if I were to show you the journal entry that we just did, and I'm going to do all, we're going to show corrections. It should all, the check number should be 213 for this one, to which it is 213. So we forcefully did this, so that's what we did. So we are good to go. Now we are going to close this, and let's go see what the next one is. So now what happens is somebody went on a vacation, and we gave them the check number 215. And when you do that, there's a different way of doing it. You could do a paycheck run, or you could do a payroll check run, or paycheck. We'll do a paycheck because we're only paying for one person. In this case, we are paying Titsy, yes. And the check number will be the next check number that it is. When are we doing this? It is, the check date is my 17. So what we are doing is we are paying this person a vacation. When you look at the vacation, we needed to know how much vacation we owed them, and that's what you're paying them. Did they tell us how much was vacation? Will receive his retained vacation for pay, the holiday release. They did not tell us how much was the vacation. So there's a different way of doing it. It seems like this is the money that is paid to him. We wanted to know if that's the amount. I wanted to see it in my in your payroll check run too. So let's see that, disregard yes, and see. I just want to know if you do a run, if it's the same amount that is paid. So what we're gonna do is normally what we do is we convert the bi-weekly into weekly, but I'm gonna see if it works out without, because I know the amount that is owed is 2328. I am going to change everything for this person. This is, I'm having a hard time seeing, and we are going to go here, and I'm gonna go to the vacation. The amount, I think something is not working. Amount, the amount should be not the whole amount, because this has 145 in it there, because I think this is my current vacation, and I don't have to pay him for the current vacation. 0. So the vacation owed should be for 44, and the amount should be 2328. So I know this is coming up with this period. So what happens is that I know if you go to the income, the reason why is it coming up like that is you needed to delete. If somebody doesn't work, they don't get paid for the lessons. And when you go to the vacation, it comes up exactly the same way. So first you go to the income and you take out the lessons, and then you go into the vacation, and then whatever you owed, this is how much you're going to pay them. When you do that, it works out to be the right number. So let's see if my numbers are correct, what it should be. The other thing is, when the person goes on a vacation, we don't deduct the medical pay. And let's go ahead and fix those things. So what else did they tell us? Did they tell us at the side? Sorry, sometimes my screens are not big, so I needed to read what they are asking me to do. So so then we're paying TCRT. So what we're doing is we're paying this person a vacation, the first thing you're going to go to is your income, and you're going to clear everything from the income. Then you're going to go to the vacation, whatever owed to them, you're going to pay them 2328. Then you're going to go to your you also, in the income, you have to remove everything from for this person. So for this period you have to remove everything from the deduction too. You have to move everything. These automatically comes, we don't need to worry about that. So when you display this report, your journal should look like this. It seems like are okay to me, but I still have a medical premium here, so they shouldn't be paying for a medical premium. So I am going to go back and I am going to look for where the medical premium is. That is right here. So I'm going to get rid of that medical premium. So again, I'm going to go from here. You're going to remove everything from this screen at the bottom. Then under the vacation, you're going to give them 2328. Under the deduction, this is going to be removed, and also under the user defined expense, this also going to be removed. Your net payment should come out to be 1874. That sounds right to me. I will have the date the date was what? Sorry, the date was October 17, which I'm gonna, the check date is 17. Are you sure? No, I don't want to disregard it. Oh, my check date, I did not put it in my check date. Are you sure you want to disregard this? Seems like I have to discard it and come back and do this. Are you sure? I will just say disregard, because otherwise it's going to save it. I might have to redo this because I forgot to change the date. Yes, so I have to go back and do that because it didn't work. So I will go back again. Sometimes we have to do it we did it so many times. So we are going to take away the income because now I have the date for that. So $17 and the period is, we have to do everything on the 17. So so that I don't have to fix this again, I will have to remove this, go to the vacation. Owed was 2328. Go to tab it, remove this, go to user benefit, remove that, and everything seems right. So let's see what we could do with it. Now we will report, we will display it, and it should look like this. So it seems like everything works out. So make sure your check date is 17. If we are giving them a check, so there shouldn't be any direct deposit. So direct deposit should be taken out. And I will post this transaction. And they said you did not enter the insurable hours. You want to post what happens is, I will say you want to continue. No, I will say no. I will go back to the income, into the vacation. You should be putting in 44 hours for this, because when you issue a record of employment, it makes a difference. So I will post this transaction. I will say yes, and I will say okay, and we have done the transaction. So we're going to do next, what we are going to do. Are you okay? Something happened here. I don't know what happened. I did not do anything. I will close this. I just wanted to know, sometimes I have so much going on at the side that I forget what I was doing. So we just did check number 215. So let's do that. Report, journal entries, all, and we will say okay. I just want to know what I just did. So we just did the journal entry 10. So we did that. So I'm going to go and read what my next one is, memo 3. What we're doing is we're paying receiver journal for the payroll, and we are also paying medical. We're also paying Alberta workers compensation, Rocky Mountain, all those checks. So 16 to the 20. So what we're doing is we're doing some of the remittance. So we're going to do pay the remittance. Who are we going to do? First one is my receiver journal, receiver general, and the payment date here is your October 1st. We're making a payment for October 1st. Pay period is October 1st. So what we do is whatever we owe them, that's the money we are going to give it to them. So you can make an adjustment, but we're not making any adjustment. So the check number will be the check number. It is for what are we making a commit check for? I'm just going to pick it up from here. Payroll remittance for October 1st, and it is memo I think 3, memo number 3, and your transaction is 216. Let's see what your payment journal or remittance report should look like when you do that. Sorry, cancel. I don't know why is it display a payment journal. Let's see. You should get 2 journal entries, and it comes automatically. So that is my transaction. These 2 are done. Now we're going to go to our next one. We are going to close here, and we are going to, everything is right. I will post it. Now we are going to make my next payment is we are making a payment for a medical premium for the employees. We needed to know how much we owe them, and it is Aspen Life Financial. We're doing it on October 15. These are the 2 payments, and you could just do here Control C, and I am going to do Control V at it. This is also memo 3, October 3rd. We wanted to know if your payment journal should look like that. So you're going to have 2 transactions in and out, so that is done right. So we are you could do memo 3 or you could do ABC, what they are doing. So I will close this, and I will post this. Aspen, when are we making this payment? So it depends on when are we making the payment. Sorry, for this one we are making a payment on the 17th. The first one, my check date for this one is 17. I think I might have made a mistake with the other date. The check date for the previous one should be 17. So you make sure you fix that. I made a mistake. So check number, the date should be 17. So the last payment that we did, make sure you change the date. But it's okay. I mean, you might lose a 1 mark if you were getting marked for this. So we done that. My next one is my WCB, Alberta Workers Compensation, and we are paying for $33.92, and we are paying for Control C, Control V, and it is my memo, and I will post this transaction. And before I post it, I wanted to make sure we are doing this right. So we are going to have 01 and 17. So I will post this transaction. Now we are going to do my next one. My next one is for my RRSP. Let's go to RRSP, Rocky Mountain Trust, SS17, and we are going to do this Control C, Control V, and again it is your memo 3, and the date is 17. You're going to have 2 transactions, and let's display the transaction. You're going to have 2 transactions. That is correct. We are going to go further. My next one is, sorry, I have to save this or post this, and I will close it. Next one is maintenance enforcement. I will click on this, then we are making a check, and I will just do that. Control C, Control V, and that is my memo 3 again, and I will do for $1,000. You're gonna have 2 checks, and I will display the journal entry, and it should look like that, and we're good to go. I will post this transaction, and I will say yes, and I will close. And now what we are going to do is we are making a cash purchase. So let's do the cash purchase. We already done my cash purchase from where? From Hydro Services, and they told us that you're going to go to Payable, and you are going to do invoice, because we did receive an invoice from them, and the invoice number is whatever the invoice number is. The date on the invoice is 17. Make sure, don't forget to change the dates. 17, 17, and it is for my, sorry, close it. It is from my Hydro. Where's my Hydro? Tell us where are my Energy Hydro? Sorry, Energy Supply, and what are we doing? We're paying them 810, and that's the amount we're paying, 810. And what are we paying for? We're paying for, you can just pick up what are we paying for? Heat and Hydro, and check number is 21, and we are paying for Heat and Hydro, and check 810, not $10. They're not going to be happy if we pay them just the $10. I am going to display a transaction. The transaction should look like Hydro expense and your bank checking account. We're good to go. I will post this transaction. We are good. I will close this, and then what we are doing is we're doing a purchase and with a check, and we are going to do invoice, and it is for Telus Alberta, and we're paying for 1 month's telephone. Control C. I will put my description. The amount here is 480. My invoice number will be that. My check number is the 20th. The 20th is my check number. The amount will be 480. And we are going to go here, and we're going to report a journal entry. Oh, sorry, I did not put the amount. I thought I did. 480, that's the amount. I will display my transaction. The transaction should look like that. Let's go to the next one. Actually, I'm going to stop here. Are you just, oh no, no, I need to post this transaction so that we know we did 22 journal entries. Now my next one is payroll. Maybe it's going to be a big entry, so I'm going to pause here, and then I'm just going to get something to eat, and I will record as soon as I finish. So now we're going to make a next on October 31st, we're going to make a payroll transaction. The only thing here is I know that there's a mistake in the source document, but if you go to the book, this person, the lesson hours was supposed to be 24, not 48. So I have the book open side by side, and then the source document, so that I'm able to figure out what the where the mistakes were. So let's go and do a payroll run. We are going to go to payroll check run. When you do that, and we are going to make a payment from the 16th to the 30th. Some of the employees are paid with the 1 to the 13th, and some are for the pay period 16 to the 31st. So we could do it both ways. One we could do is because we have salary employees and we have hourly employees. So if you wanted to do this way, we could do it this way too. So let's do our we will do from the 16th to the 31st. It will tell us who we are paying, and the other people were paying them uh, um, uh, 1st to the 31st. So when you're doing this, so that some of the things are given to us. Now let's say Filler Morty has 90, and the overtime for this person was 2, and the tuition was 145, and they repaid 50. So that was my first one. So we did the first one. My second was Handy Jerome. It is also so you want to continue. Yeah, this will be my 90, this will be my 2. We go here, this will be my 90, and there 90, and we go to your we already done that. These Marina, Layers, and Helena, these three people are from the payroll, and then when what they're doing is they're getting the if I go to the first one, that is my Marina, 160 16, and this person is also getting my tuition, that is 140. I go to my next person, which is your Layers. Let's do that. That is when I click on the Layers, 160 Layers is 12, and there's nothing here. Okay, that is good. And we have Helena, that is Helena is, that's good. Then we have, I missed this person, which is 48, and I think this should be 24, and the loan is 100. So let's see if I can get all of them right, to see if my payments are the way it should be. I will display the payroll journal so we can just check if my amount is right. 5,600, I think that seems right. I'm just checking the regular pay so that I know I'm not making any mistake. So was a mistake in the book, so you have to go back and fix that mistake from the book. So my next one is your 0. Okay, and I'm just doing it slowly so you are able to see the numbers that you want. So we have 5,200. So we have done all the transactions for the pay, so we are good. Now the other thing you needed to pay attention to is some are getting a deposit, some are not. So you could do it manually for some people, that to give them the deposit, and some people are not deposit, but I just make it as a direct deposit for everybody. So that's what I did. I made a direct deposit for everybody. So that's what they're asking us to do. So I am going to post my transaction, and that will be my, I have to post the transaction. Yes. Continue. Yes. And I will say okay. I will close this. Now going forward, now we have got a bank memo dated October 31st, and it's for pre-authorized payment. So that's what we have is for pre-authorized payments. So let's see if we could when we do this, we are given a direct memo. If you're doing a direct memo, it will be done in my company. Under the company, you are going to go to my general journal. When you go to the journal and you're going to be doing the so in this case we have the date, debit memo date is Control C. So you're going to add the bank memo, that's the source. And what are we doing? We are doing Scholar Height Bank, so that's from pre-authorized withdrawals from the checking. I'm just going to do Control C and Control V. I'll just say withdrawn from the bank. So when you do it, you have to debit something and you have to credit something. I'm just going to go to the site to see it. First one is your bank charges. You're going to go to your bank charges account. I will select it. The amount is 55 and my interest, the interest is 51.40 I think, and that was $320. Then we're gonna go to my next one is reduction to the principal. I don't know the account number. I needed to make a payment for my loan, which is bank loan, and that is my, I have to take it out credit. It will be my debit of 880. Then I have to go to my next one is my interest on mortgage. Let's see if I can go on the interest. We could have a separate account, but in this case I didn't see any separate account. And the you have to delete it from this side, come to this side, that's 2500. And we have a reduction of principal on a mortgage. So we made a principal payment, so we are going to my liabilities, mortgage payable. So in this case it is 2920. I will delete that, and we made a payment of 500. Altogether the payment should be 4,500, and they already took it out of our bank account, so bank checking will be a credit account. So that's how we will do. Now this account they want you to do store as a recurring charges. So when you do that, you have to store as a recurring charge. When you do that, you click on this button, so it will store as a recurring charges. So I will store as a recurring charger. It'll be, I'll say okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to post our transaction. So that was my 30th transaction. It's taking, this file is taking me longer than expected. So let's go to my next one and see what my next one is and what they're asking us to do. So now we got a bank memo, so we're going to stay where we are, and this is a bank credit memo is Control C, and I'm going to do Control V, and this is from Scholar Bank, Control C. So I'm just going to paste it, and I'm just going to take this out. Interest we're paying. So what would I debit? I would debit my interest. My interest will be my 1800. So what we did is we made an investment, so money is coming into our bank account. And how much is coming? 1800. And then we are going to receive interest. I will go to my revenues, and under the revenue we should have a revenue from interest. That's an 1800, and they also want us to record this also in a recurring transaction. So you hover over it to record a monthly transaction, and it is monthly. I will do this. I will have to post this transaction. My date is correct. I will say okay. So we are done what we are supposed to do. Now we have what we call it. We have I'm just going to finish October, and then we'll go change the session date to November for another video. So this is a memo. What happens is some of the we are doing a month end entry. So if we're doing a month end entry, they're done at the end of the month. So who told you that? Of course it is a memo from your manager that you are recording this transaction. and this transaction is for month end adjustment, end of the month adjusting entry. Control C, Control V it. Now my office supplies were used. If they used up, we have to debit the expense account, and credit will be my office. Let's see, office supplies expense. I have my first one, that is my 180. I go to my next one, art supplies, so we have to go to the expense accounts for my art used, and that amount is first one, sorry, I have to put this, my amount is incorrect, so I will credit this. This is 735. My first one should be 180. I go to my third one, that is for textbook damage. If they damage textbook, I should have an expense account for the damaged textbooks. Textbook expense, that's my here. I will click and I will say okay, and the amount is 795. I go down, and that is my prepaid property tax. And what we're going to do is we have to record, if it's a prepaid, I needed to charge debit to the property tax. Let's see if I have an account for that property tax expense. I don't have a property tax expense. I wanted to know if they ask us to create it. I'm not too sure. I have to go to the book and see if they ask you to create an account for that. So let's see if I could. My book went to sleep. I had the book at the side by side, but it went to sleep. So in this case, we're prepaid for the property tax. You needed to debit the property tax expense normally, but I don't see an account. If I don't see it an account, you can charge it to some account which relates to the property tax prepaid. So let's see if I can find a prepaid property tax. Prepaid property tax account. I don't know, I have a 1260, I see it, and we needed to do an adjustment, so it will be my in and out for this. So I will close this. My property tax will be, I don't need to actually do in and out, but that's what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to debit the 900 here because it's a prepaid, and then I have to do an adjusting entry to the same account. So, or you could charge it to the expense account. So normally that's what is done. So let's go to prepaid. Prepaid, I did see a prepaid tax. Property tax, and that will be your 900 for sure, because that's what should be charged. I'm gonna have my first one is my office supplies expense. Now sometimes what happens is you charge it to the expense account, and sometimes you're doing a debit and credit from each account. So depending on the professor, sometimes what we the month end entry, those are used. What we have to do is we have to normally debit the expense accounts, and your credit will be credit will be the normal accounts that goes with that particular account. For my first one, let's look at it. It will be my office supplies, which is you're going to be, let's see what I could do. I could find it. 12 office supplies. I'm going to put that, and that was my 180. I go under here. I have my art. My art was 735, and my textbook expense was, and that was week's debit, and that would have been 795. So again, your prepaid 900. Your property tax will be, actually it should be the other way around. This should be a I should debit my expense account. I'm having a hard time seeing. This will be, I will close this. I will debit this 900. I will credit this account 900. So my property tax prepaid will be a credit. My debit will be property tax expense, and my office supplies will be credit. These will be the credit. And sometimes what happens is, if it was already in my prepaid, you have to take it out and put it into the expense. Those are my adjusting entry. And sometimes we can make a mistake when we're doing it, but I don't think there is any mistake here. I'm going to store this as a recurring transaction, because only if you want it. I'm just going to say yes, I want it. So will be my, I will say okay, and I have done all my transaction up to October 31st. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, and I will record a second part right after.